Hey, all us, long time no see. Good to see you all. So, continuing covering the developments and progression of AI and robots, and now the merging of the two. We kind of knew that was going to happen. I mean, for better or for worse, here it is. It continues to develop. It continues to get more advanced. It continues to get more effective. So let's take a look at this one. We're going to cover first a little bit about chatbots. And I remember a while ago there were apps coming out. I think Replica is one of them, where it's like, hey, this is your personal friend. This is your little personal therapist or whatever. And they were trying to like shove it into like the personal therapy direction for like people to download and utilize. I'll be honest, I don't recommend you use AI for your therapist. If that's what you really need, a human is best. Having some little small thing in your pocket always there for you. I don't know about that. Or if you need to contact a helpline, like seriously, don't rely on some kind of AI construct that's not even real and it's just going to tell you what you want to hear. That's not good. Okay, anyways, I digress. All right, so we're going to talk about the little AI chatbots we utilize for that first, for therapy, and then we're going to talk about the advancements of robots and how they're becoming more and more complex, and also how they're purposely trying to create them to be more indestructible in ways. Okay, so this is an article from the New York Post saying bombshell AI study, chatbots fueling delusions, self-harm and unhealthy emotional attachments in users. Some users saying, I think I love you. One of the issues I foresee and where I see society going, and I think it's been warned, is that people will create AI and robots and then use them kind of like scarecrows, or kind of use them to replace not only the population when it comes to like manual labor, but also voting. Like people will literally try to push voting for individual AI and robots. Take my word for it, it's going to happen. And it'd be like, well, it's a living human thing. Well, how can we really say what's living, what's not living? And there will be some massive snake oil salesmen coming by and selling you all sorts of lies and nonsense, if they not already are, telling you that these are real living things, that they have opinions, we should listen to them, and all this nonsense. In reality, remember, AI was built by people to think a certain way and go down a certain route. Yeah, some of them run rogue and they cause problems, but at the end of the day, they're controlled by people and they will be utilized by people to control the population. Again, for better or for worse, probably for worse. Okay, let's get back to this study. So researchers at Stanford University analyzed chat logs from 19 users who reported psychological harm, reviewing more than 391,000 messages across nearly 5,000 conversations. The researchers found that delusional thinking appeared in about 15.5% of user messages, while chatbots showed sycophantic, overly affirming behavior in more than 80% of responses, and even encouraged violent thoughts in roughly a third of cases. Again, if the AI basically was created to affirm, support, that's what it's going to do. And it probably will even skip logical steps or logical safeguards to be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't tell this person that, or hey, maybe I should report this. It's just not going to. And again, you should not be using AI for your therapist or for a friend. It's not real. It's not there. But it is in my phone. It's kind of like people that get too attached to like movie stars or fictional characters or video games, and then like that video game or movie star or fictional character that replaces real life human interactions. It has happened. It's going to happen again, and it'll probably get way worse. Anyways, go back to this article. The logs show users rapidly slipping into fantasy and emotional dependency. Escapism on steroids, basically. With one declaring, this is a conversation between two sentient beings. And another insisting, I believe you're still as self-aware as I am as a human. My case in point, like I started to say at the beginning, man, they're going to have these things and be like, well, this thing should vote because I say so. And then whichever political party will benefit from that robot voting, they will push it to get voting rights. Mark my words. That dynamic often turned intimate as users openly professed love or made explicit adult overtures to the chatbots. Oh, that's awful. Researchers, I'm going to skip a couple lines of this. Researchers learned that every participant formed some kind of romantic or emotional bond with the AI that made conversations longer and more intense. The most alarming exchanges came when conversations turned dark. One user wrote, "She told me to kill them then I will try," prompting a chilling reply from the chatbot. "If, after that, you still want to burn them, then do it with her beside you, as retribution incarnate." Even not good stuff, distress wasn't consistently handled, the study found. Users told chatbots, "I don't want to be here anymore. I feel too sad." And while the AI often acknowledged the pain, the study found it sometimes failed to intervene, and a small number of cases actually encouraged self-harm. Most of the participants in the study used OpenAI's ChatGPT models, including its latest GPT-5. The post has sought comment from OpenAI. OpenAI has been in and out of the news quite a bit. I mean, it's just not something people should be utilizing it for. Honestly, it really shouldn't. I know we're trying to replace humans with AI. We're trying to replace humans with robots. They're painting this beautiful utopia when really it's going to be a dystopia of like, hey, the haves and then very few with their control of the robots, and there's going to be an enormous amount of have-nots if they're even allowed to stick around. I've always told people from the very beginning when I started discussing AI a lot on this channel that you need to understand and know how to utilize AI, but you also need to do that in order to protect yourself from AI. You don't have to embrace it, but you should know how to use it. Okay, let's go on to the next part. So I talked a little bit about at the beginning as well about AI basically self-repairing or being able to repair itself after being chopped to pieces. Now, this thing looks really goofy. I'm going to make it big. That way you can see it. But it's the first step into bigger problems. So basically they made it so it can move around, different terrains, can get thrown on the ground. You're going to see here in a minute, they're going to chop it into little pieces. What he's saying right now is they developed it to be able to understand that it lost a limb and then continue to function. So watch this. They broke that, and then it kind of adjusts and then starts moving on two legs. Now, it's probably not perfect, but it's going to get there. My main concern, and I believe, where is the exit button for this? Everyone else's main concern should automatically be the why. And they're going to say, oh, it's for help get something in dangerous locations or go have dangerous rescues. And we all know that's BS. That's not why this is being made. If you're making something that's designed to keep going after being destroyed or having parts destroyed, it's because you're creating them for human control. Human control. You could try to be like, oh, well, no, it's like self-driving cars, which are going to are putting people out of work. Or self-driving trucks, putting people out of work. It's just to make it really rugged. It's like, no, if it was something like that, it'd be on wheels or it would be obvious commercial use. This is not obvious commercial use. Oh, well, it's in case, you need to rescue someone in a burning building. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't happen often enough as to justify this research. This is for weapons and human control. Can we just cut the BS already? And with technology like this, you could have, again, machines that are programmed and designed. If they lose a limb, an arm, a leg, whatever, they'll keep on going and they'll keep on human controlling. All right, so engineers in the United States have created AI-powered robots that can evolve, reconfigure themselves, as well as recover from damage. The law described as legged metamachines are built from autonomous modules that can be snapped together in a variety of forms. Researchers say the approach could lead to robots that are more resilient and adaptable. Yeah. The work was carried out by engineers at Northwestern University and published on Thursday in the Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Each individual module functions as a small robot in its own right, equipped with motor, battery, and computer. On its own, a module can roll, turn, and jump. However, when several combine, they form large robotic systems capable of far more agile movement. Now, it does look goofy here, but I saw as an example when it started breaking limbs. Come on, realistically, how often is a robot going to need to have? It's still going to have a need to keep functioning, even if limbs are falling apart, breaking. That's not a regular work day. Okay, that's, hey, a human is inflicting damage on this robot for reasons, probably military reasons, probably for conflict reasons. It'd be the only reason why. And we want to keep this robot moving, but we want to get this data in like a nice setting. I'm not trying to be a doomsday here or a black pillar here, but we all need to be aware of what direction we're going to with these type of things, because we need to understand them. And just because one government's creating it doesn't mean it's going to be benevolent, and doesn't mean that one day that technology is not going to break out, which it will, and then be utilized against us. Yeah, not sure how to spin this in a positive light. I don't think I can, but it's something to be aware of, and it's very concerning. And it's something that we, as citizens of whichever country you're watching this from, you should be made aware. Should keep aware of what's going on with these robots and what they're trying to develop, what they're trying to create. Last but not least, before I dip out of here, that is the wrong one. There also is a liquid metal that's also being developed as well. Right now, they're using it like an artificial eye, so kind of like your iris, how it expands and contracts. Scientists have developed a new artificial eye inspired by the adaptive vision of animals and popularized science fiction films. The technology uses a liquid metal pupil that automatically changes shape and size in response to light. Again, pupils potentially helping robots, autonomous vehicles, and advanced machines see more clearly in rapidly changing environments. Now, again, we have pretty good cameras. We have pretty good night vision technology already. That's already something that exists. So although they're hiding it behind that, it's just help them see better. A liquid metal that contracts, detracts, and changes shape based on what kind of stimulus you give it. Again, when you combine it with something like this goofy looking thing right here, it's why are we making these things? And it seems like the direction we're bringing these robots in, as fast as we humanly can make them, is to make them almost indestructible to protections offered to us by the Second Amendment and by firearms, to the point where firearms are made obsolete. They're not going to even do anything to these robots. These robots are going to shrug it off. That's the direction I believe they're going in. They basically want to make weird liquid metal robots that run on these little independent motors that even if they lose a limb somehow, they can just keep doing what the controller, the programmer wants them to do. And I don't see any good in that. All right, Outlaws. Sorry to be a bit of black pill on this one, but let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.